Will the House come to order? Mr. Clerk, item 1, roll call. Please call the roll.
Mr. Ayu, Mr. Alcos, Ms. Amato, Ms. Bellotti, Mr. Chun, Ms. Cochran, Mr. Evslin, Mr. Ganadin,
Excuse.
Mr. Garcia, Mr. Garrett, Mr. Gates, Mr. Hashem, Mr. Holt, Ms. Hussey Burdick, Ms. Ichiyama, Ms. Kahaloa, Ms. Capella, Mr. Kila, Ms. Kitagawa, Mr. Kobayashi, Mr. Kong,
Excuse.
Ms. Lachika, Ms. Lamosao, Ms. Lowen, Ms. Martin, Ms. Martinez, Mr. Matayoshi, Ms. Matsumoto, Mr. Miyake, Ms. Mizuno, Ms. Morikawa, Ms. Nakamura, Mr. Nakashima, Mr. Nishimoto, Mr. Onishi, Ms. Peruso, Mr. Pirik, Ms. Poepoe, Mr. Quinlan, Mr. Saiki,
Present.
Mr. Sayama,
Excuse.
Ms. Souza, Mr. Takayama, Ms. Takenouchi, Mr. Tam, Mr. Tarnas, Mr. Todd, Mr. Ward, Mr. Woodson, Mr. Yamashita, Mr. Speaker.
Present.
Mr. Speaker, 48 members are present, 3 are excused.
Mr. Clerk, please mark the presence of Representative Sunny Ganadin. Item 2, reading of the journal. Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, may this matter be deferred.
So ordered. Item 3, message from the governor. Mr. Clerk, are there any messages from the governor?
Mr. Speaker, there are none.
Item 4, Mr. Clerk, are there any Senate communications?
Mr. Speaker, there are none.
Members, introductions. Representative Quinlan.
Mr. Speaker, it's an honor today. We have some Red Raiders in the gallery with us. From Kahuku High and Intermediate, we have 2 CTE, Career and Technical Education Student Ambassadors, Shaden New and Malia Teu. We also have Program Specialist Uila Fotu Vendiola and CTE teacher Alvina New, as well as our Complex Area Superintendent, Mr. Matt Ho, and of course, my very favorite principal, Donna Lindsay. Welcome to your House of Representatives.
Representative Morikawa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Also in the gallery, all the way from Kekaha, Kauai, Kekaha Elementary School, Principal Joseph Hicks, stand, Chelsea Ruiz, and Kaua Mata. Welcome to your House of Representatives.
Representative Kahaloa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I have the esteemed honor to do some introductions on behalf of Vice Speaker for the Ka'u Kea'au Pahoa Complex Area District. First and foremost, we have our Complex Area Superintendent from the, again, Ka'u Kea'au Pahoa District, and that's Stacy Bello. Can you please stand and be recognized? Thank you for being here. We also have 2 schools with students here today. So the first is Po'a Elementary School, and please hold your applause till we get through all of the introductions. We have Mrs. Shana Uetake, teacher. 6th grade students Ella Pagan Johnson, Kaikane Primasio, and Chad Ha'ili, and 4th grader Hekili Primasio. Welcome to your House of Representatives. One more school to introduce, please, Mr. Speaker. Keonepoko Elementary School. Today we have Mrs. Sarah Ho'ohuli, teacher. And with her, 5th graders Delilah Hanato, Shaila Mata, and 4th graders Cal Morgan, Chloe Tranila, and Emily Hartong. Welcome to your House of Representatives.
And may I also add Christopher Ho. Christopher Ho, welcome to your House of Representatives. Representative Onishi.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, today, I hope they're here. I didn't see them, all of them earlier, but we have students from the great city of Hilo, from the alma mater of my three daughters, Waikia High School, the Warriors. And if you're a warrior from Waikia, can you please stand to be recognized? Oh, there they are. And we also have students here from my alma mater, Hilo High School. Can all the Vikings in the house please stand? And Mr. Speaker, can I have their names entered into the journal?
So ordered.
Thank you.
Representative Takayama.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to recognize students from Pacific Palisades Elementary, if they're in the gallery, to please stand there with their principal, Gavin Tsui. And I'd like to also recognize a Pearl City constituent, Superintendent Keith Hayashi. Thank you all, and welcome to the Capitol.
Representative Lamasao.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In the gallery today, we have Marauders here joining us, and I just want to recognize their advisors first. So we have Steven Silva, we have Eunice Fukunaga, and we also have Justine Kaholopua. Can please stand, and also Marauders, please stand to be recognized as well. Welcome to your House of Representatives. Mr. Speaker, may their names be entered into the journal.
So ordered.
Thank you.
Representative Kitagawa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In the gallery today, we have staff and students from Kaneohe Elementary School, the school that my children go to. If you can please stand to be recognized. Welcome to your House of Representatives. And Mr. Speaker, can their names be entered into the journal?
So ordered.
Thank you very much.
Representative Peruso.
Mr. Speaker, in the gallery today, we have nursing students from Hawaii Pacific University, and as I read your names, if you could please stand to be recognized. Janera Cabillas, Charlene Karang, Sherwin Korang, Rowan Eugenio, Soyoung Guerrero, Kathleen Osorio, Arvi Quelnan, Manuel Solomon, Whitney Spiegel, Trinity Ulep, and Professor Leah Javier. Welcome to your House of Representatives.
Representative Matayoshi. Hold on, Representative Peruso, did you have a further introduction?
I am so sorry, Mr. Speaker, if you don't mind a second
Proceed.
introduction. I'd just like the students from Lelehua's, Lelehua High School's Agricultural Systems Program who have joined us today, and we're on the 4th floor showing off their bee pollinator project. Please rise and be recognized, and Mr. Speaker, I'd like their names to be entered into the journal.
So ordered. Representative Matayoshi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In the audience today, we have a number of residents from Kailua and Kaneohe. Please stand to be recognized. Alika Rivera, Neighborhood Board Chair Bill Hicks, Deborah Bull, Annette Toshiro, Donald Sakamoto, Ann Lemke, Sean O'Connor, Katrina Kennedy, and Randy Kennedy. Welcome to your House of Representatives.
Representative Ichiyama.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I have a high school shadow, Kai Valle. If you could please rise. She's a junior at Waipahu High School. If we can welcome her to the House of Representatives. Thank you.
Representative Gates.
Mahalo, Mr. Speaker. In the gallery, we have 3 incredible schools visiting us here today at the State Capitol for Education Week Student Showcase, which is being held on the 4th floor. As I call your name, please stand and remain standing, and please hold your applause until all names are called. The first school is Waianae Elementary. The staff is Principal Sheldon Kano. And we also have the Teacher of the Year for the Nanakuli Waianae Complex area, Ms. Donna Soriano. She's accompanied by her motivated students, Legion Raspanek, Amanda Kabahit, Andrea Burano, and Brooke Burano. A quick round of applause for our Waianae Elementary students and staff. Our second school is Lehoku Elementary, and we have Principal Rebecca Gabrias. Hello. And then accompanying her is Miss Kim Beach, Miss Lori Sibahan, Miss Kim Hollingsworth, Miss Monica Menende. Along with them are their motivated students, James Yamada, Amber Rose Gayson, Hanyo Mangrabang, Gianna Hernandez, Evan Domingo, and Kalea Narvaez. And with them is our complex area superintendent, Disa Hagi. Round of applause for our Lehoku Elementary School students. And just a quick shout out to Miss Rebecca, who was also a former teacher when I was there at Waianae Intermediate School. Finally, Mr. Speaker, on the fourth floor, we have our Waianae High School students who are representing our Marine Science Learning Center, and please go visit them. They are still holding it down at the booth, but a round of applause for them. Mr. Speaker, I ask that all their names be inserted into the journal.
So ordered.
Thank you.
Representative Matsumoto.
That was not good. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We just introduced him yesterday, but he's here again today, our Central Area Complex Area Superintendent, Bob Davis.
Representative LaChica.
Mr. Speaker, in the gallery is one of my area schools and favorite principals, and likely the tallest DOE elementary school principal, Principal Neil Blomberg. Please rise. And anyone else from Kanuilani here representing their school, please welcome to your House of Representatives.
All right, members, with no further, Representative Woodson.
Speaker, thank you. From Maui County, we have our complex area superintendents here. We have Desiree Sides. Please stand. Dr. Rebecca Winky, please stand. We have Jackie McCandless, Principal, Maiuaina, please stand. Kids, if you're here from Maiuaina, please also stand. And Speaker, there are several individuals here, students, faculty, and staff for the Department of Education Student Success Showcase. It gives you really hope for the future to see what they were learning in their classrooms, in their different pathways. If you're here with regards to that, please stand. Kids, students, please all stand. Please all stand and be recognized. Please all stand and be recognized. You're rock stars, we want to recognize you. Please all stand and be recognized. Kids. Thank you. Thank you, Speaker.
All right, members. Representative Hashem.
So, Speaker, I have people in the gallery today from Kalani High School. So, I see them right there in the front row. Can you please stand? They're escorted by Brian Silver, their robotics instructor. Thank you. And I don't know if Kaiser High School, is Kaiser High School here today? Behind? No? Okay. Thank you.
Representative Kila.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Although they were introduced, I'd like to introduce them once again in a former capacity. Principal Blomberg, who was once a Kapolei High School teacher and my former football coach at a smaller size. Principal Blomberg, welcome to your House of Representatives.
Members, let's move on to our order of the day. Item 5, floor presentations. Mr. Clerk, are there any floor presentations?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, we have 2 floor presentations today. The first being House Resolution number 218, congratulating the 2024 Teachers of the Year for school complex areas in the Hawaii District, Maui District, and Kauai District, and commending the 2023 High School Counselor of the Year. This resolution is offered by Representative Woodson.
Representative Woodson.
Thank you, Speaker. I move to adopt the resolution.
Representative Todd.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
It has been moved and seconded that the resolution be adopted. Any discussion? Representative Woodson?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I defer to the gentleman from Hilo.
Representative Todd?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of the Hawaii State House of Representatives, I'd like to once again express our sincere gratitude to those who guide our keiki through their first 2 decades of their lives in Hawaii schools and for their exceptional contributions to our community. On this second day of Education Week, we honor outstanding teachers who have gone above and beyond to provide a high-quality education for their students. It is my pleasure to recognize several complex area Teachers of the Year, as well as the Hawaii State Counselor of the Year. Every year, educators are selected statewide for their demonstration of personal achievement, leadership, and innovative instruction. These teachers work tirelessly in and out of school to ensure that our keiki are well-equipped to excel in pursuit of their goals. Today, I am honored to recognize Ms. Pinky Grace Francisco as the Ka'u Ke'au Pohoa Complex 2024 Teacher of the Year. If we can give her a round of applause. Ms. Francisco has been serving for 5 years at Ka'u High School and Pahala Elementary. She is an HSTA Early Leadership Fellow and a member of the CARES Pilot Program, HSTA English Language Learner Committee, and Hawaii Association of Filipino Educators. Ms. Francisco is a testament to the notion that insurmountable challenges faced by immigrants in Hawaii can be overcome with a strong work ethic and dedication to one's passion and profession. I yield to my colleague from Hamakua.
Representative Nakashima?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am pleased to recognize Mr. Christopher Pike. Mr. Pike, if you please rise, of Chiefess Kapiolani Elementary School as the Hilo Waikea Complex 2024 Teacher of the Year. Mr. Pike has been teaching for 10 years. He is a 5th grade teacher and advisor for the Robotics Club, where he provides culturally relevant education and elevates the voices of his students. Through his career, Mr. Pike has received multiple National Teacher Awards, and he credits his personal and professional success to his colleagues and family who inspire his mission to uplift students through the learning with adventure. Mr. Pike would like to specifically acknowledge his mother, who is also an educator and role model. I yield to my colleague from Molokai.
Let's give Mr. Pike a round of applause. Representative Poi Poi?
Thank you, Speaker. It's a great honor to congratulate Mr. David Kavika Gonzalez as the Hana Lahaina Luna Lanai Molokai Complex 2024 Teacher of the Year. Mr. Gonzalez has been inspiring the students at Kaunakakai Elementary School for 22 years. He's been an innovator in integrating STEM and computer science topics into his classroom through robotics, rockets, computer programming, and more. Mr. Gonzalez has won several awards, such as the Leslie and Polly Chekowich Award from the Maui Economic Development Board, and he has presented at several conferences about his novel approaches to teaching and STEM education. I yield to my colleague from Kapa'a.
Representative Nakamura?
Mr. Speaker, I would like to recognize Ms. Kara Kitamura of Kapa'a High School for receiving the Kapa'a Kauai Waimea Complex 2024 Teacher of the Year distinction. Ms. Kitamura has been a dedicated educator for 26 years. As a National Board Certified Science and Technical Education teacher, she has been developing Kapa'a High School's Health Academy since 2011, teaching 10th through 12th grade students health and nursing skills. Ms. Kitamura also advises Kapa'a High School's HOSA Club and National Honor Society, in addition to coaching the swimming, cross-country, and track teams. And on a personal note, Mrs. Kitamura has hosted my daughter and her entire cross-country team at her home and feeding them a pasta dinner before the big meet. And fostering team spirit, and bonding with camping trips to Koke'e. I now yield to my colleague from Wahiawa.
Representative Peruso.
Mr. Speaker, I am honored to congratulate Ms. Brittany Coralia, a school counselor at Halemano Elementary School in Whitmore Village, for being named as the 2023 Hawaii School Counselor of the Year. Ms. Coralia has been a dedicated school counselor since 2015. She spearheads initiatives such as implementing social and emotional learning programs for our students and teachers, resulting in significant improvements to student safety and enhanced emotional well-being. Driven by a commitment to community betterment, Ms. Coralia shares her expertise with schools statewide, contributing to state training and maintaining membership in the American School Counselor Association and Hawaii School Counselor Association. Let's congratulate Ms. Coralia. In addition to these complex area Teachers of the Year and Counselor of the Year, we'd like to also recognize Jennifer Ilaban, the Honoka'a Kealakehe Kohala Konohana Complex Teacher of the Year, Melanie Teraoka, Baldwin Kekaulike Maui Complex Teacher of the Year, Laura Cummings, the Castle Kahuku Complex Teacher of the Year, Marina Higa, and the Aea Moanalua Radford Complex Teacher of the Year, Jessica Peterson. I'm sorry, I think I have mashed that together a bit. And also the Jessica Peterson, the Pearl City Waipahu Complex Teacher of the Year, and John Parker Sawyer, Public Charter School Teacher of the Year. Though they're unable to participate in Education Week, I'd like to extend a big mahalo and congratulations to these educators on behalf of the House of Representatives. And I'd also like to thank the guests in the gallery who have joined us to recognize these Complex Teacher of the Year awardees. Welcome to your House of Representatives. Mr. Speaker, I request that their names be inserted into the journal.
So ordered. Members, all those in favor say aye. The motion is carried. Representative Woodson, please proceed with the certificate and lay presentation. Please remain standing. Thank you. Mr. Clerk, is there another floor presentation?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. House Resolution number 219, recognizing the Genki Alawai Project for its efforts to help restore and revitalize the Alawai Canal. This resolution is offered by Representatives Nishimoto, Saiki, and Tam.
Representative Nishimoto.
I move for the adoption of the resolution.
Representative Tam.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
It has been moved and seconded that the resolution be adopted. Any discussion, Representative Nishimoto?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm honored to congratulate the Genki Alawai Project for its innovative approach to addressing environmental change in our waterways and empowering the community to shape its own future. Since its inception in 2019, the Genki Alawai Project has embarked on a noble mission to restore and revitalize the Alawai Canal, making it fishable and swimmable in 7 years. At the heart of this endeavor are Genki balls, mud balls containing effective microorganisms. These balls are thrown into the canal, where they sink to the bottom and begin to digest sludge and pollutants that have been accumulated over the years. The Genki Alawai project is in its 5th year, and they have tossed over 115,000 Genki balls into specific locations into the Alawai Canal. This concerted effort, monitored through rigorous water quality tests, marks a significant stride toward their goal of deploying 300,000 Genki balls by 2026. Already, the project has shown success with a noted improvement in water quality and increased biodiversity, with more native fishes and mammals moving back into the canal. There have been sightings of turtles, eagle rays, and even monk seals, species that have not been seen in the canal for many years. Perhaps most importantly, the Genki Alawai project is a testament to the spirit of collaboration and unity that defines our community. It's about neighbors coming together, rolling up their sleeves, and working hand in hand to create something truly remarkable. The project collaborates with local businesses to sponsor events aimed at encouraging participation from nearby schools and community groups. As we look ahead to the future of the Alawai watershed, let us remember that the lessons we learned from this project, the power of partnership, the importance of sustainability, and the profound impact we can achieve when we work together toward a common goal. Genki Alawai project has not only revitalized a waterway, but it has also inspired hope and possibility for a cleaner and healthier future. At this time, I pass it to my colleague who represents the Alawai Canal.
Representative Tam.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, please join me in expressing our deepest gratitude and aloha to the members of the Genki Alawai Project, a branch of the Hawaii Exemplary State Foundation, for their pursuit in the restoration and revitalization of the Alawai ecosystem. Through the combined efforts of this project, members and volunteers, along with collaborating schools, businesses, and organizations, the Genki Alawai Project has made significant and visible progress that propels Hawaii into a cleaner and brighter future. As many in our state's histories have done before, this project illustrates the phenomenal determination of our people and the incredible accomplishments that we can achieve when we work together. I want to recognize the following individuals who are joining us on the House floor today for their contributions to this project. Members, please hold your applause to I introduce them all, and when I introduce your names, please stand. Dr. Kenneth Kaneshiro, the President and CEO of the Hawaii Exemplary State Foundation. Mary Ann Kobayashi, the Educational Coordinator. Hiromichi Nago, the Technical Advisor. Chikako Nago, the Business Liaison. Fumiko Sato-chan, the Community Liaison. And finally, I want to recognize all the volunteers that are part of this project in the gallery today. Thank you for your efforts and congratulations on your achievements.
Members will be taking a voice vote. All those in favor say aye. The motion is carried. Representative Nishimoto, please proceed with the certificate and lay presentation. The chair will call a recess to allow the members of the House to meet and congratulate the honorees. Recess. Item 6, reports of standing committees. Representative Nakamura.
Mr. Speaker, I move to adopt Standing Committee Report numbers 1164-24 through 1201-24 as listed on pages 2 through 11, and that the accompanying House bills as may be amended pass second reading and be referred to their designated committees.
Second.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Hold on, I'm gonna call recess. Recess. Will the House come to order? Representative Nakamura, please restate the motion.
Mr. Speaker, I move to adopt Standing Committee Report numbers 1164-24 through 1201-24 as listed on pages 2 through 11, and that the accompanying Senate bills, as may be amended, pass second reading and be referred to their designated committees.
Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Any discussions on StanCom Report 1164-24? 1165, 1166, 1167, next page, 1168, Representative Amato.
Reservations.
So ordered. 1169, 1170, 1171, next page, 1172, 1173, Representative Holt.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In opposition.
Proceed.
You know, I was a little confused with this measure. Any measure trying to say that Reconciliation Day should be the day of the illegal overthrow is a little interesting to me. I just did a little bit of background on the measure to ensure the members that it was not introduced by the Senate Majority Leader. It was a short form bill. But you know, if we want to honor Queen Liliuokalani, we can choose another day or call it something else. But in opposition, thank you.
Representative Pierrick.
Yes to the vote. Yes to the bill with a speech.
Proceed.
I would like to agree with the former representative. I think that the title of the day is a little bit different than the actual historical day. So I'm in support of honoring basically acknowledging what happened in the past, but maybe that title is just not the best title for that day.
All right, members, 1174, 1175, Representative Garcia.
Reservations.
So ordered. Next page, 1176, 1177, 1178, Representative Amato.
Reservations.
So ordered. 1179, next page, 1180, Representative Garcia.
Reservations.
So ordered. 1181, 1182, Representative Pierrick.
No vote.
So ordered. 1183, Representative Garcia.
Reservations.
So ordered. Next page. 1184, Representative Ganaden.
In support, Mr. Speaker.
Proceed.
Brief comment. Absolutely in support of supporting the Department of Law Enforcement in continuing their training. I think there are continuing issues with regards to the way that the Department of Law Enforcement currently contracts with private contractors for the entrances and exits of judiciary buildings. And here at the legislature, we hope that this continued training will allow them to work with those contractors to serve for not only our safety, but the safety of all judicial staff.
1185, 1186, 1187, next page, 1188, 1189, 1190, Representative Amato.
Reservations.
So ordered. 1191, next page, 1192, 1193, 1194, 1195, next page, 1196, 1197, 1198. Representative Garcia.
1197, no vote.
So ordered. Representative Perry.
We have 1197 no vote.
So ordered. 1198, 1199. Next page. 1200, 1201. Members, I'll be calling a voice vote. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The motion is carried. Representative Nakamura.
Mr. Speaker, I move to adopt Standing Committee Report numbers 1202-24 and 1203-24 as listed on page 11, and that the accompanying House resolution and House concurrent resolution be referred to the Committee on Judiciary and Hawaiian Affairs.
Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Members, any discussion on STANCOM Report 1202 and 1203 in tandem? Representative Garcia.
In strong opposition.
Proceed.
I don't know if the members, Mr. Speaker, have read this resolution, but I just find it purely hypocritical that in recent weeks, the words right wing has been stricken from the record here on the floor because it was inappropriate. Here in this resolution on pages 8 to 9, it says, whereas disinformation and digital hate speech have been linked to acts of violence, including various mass shootings, whereas just under half of those deaths caused by right-wing incidents were committed by people who showed support for white supremacy. This is a purely partisan resolution, and the fact is there have been multiple mass shootings conducted by left-wing individuals as well, so this premise is just completely unfounded. On page 2, it continues with its partisan rhetoric. Whereas disinformation and digital hate speech have also been linked to the insurrection that occurred at the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021. There has never been a declared official insurrection that took place on January 6. This goes to motive, if anything. I'm going to continue. Whereas a 2021 Washington Post investigation found that right-wing extremists have been involved in 267 plots or attacks in the United States since 2015, resulting in 91 fatalities. Yet it fails to talk about all the other left-wing groups, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, that have burned down cities and also killed people as well. So this resolution is one that should not be passed by this body, and I would urge my colleagues with common sense to vote no. Thank you.
Representative Ward.
Speaker, I rise in strong opposition.
Proceed.
First reason is because this is a piece of left-wing propaganda during an election year, and we're buying into what's going on at the national level, and this is the state level. This is just totally unfair. But let me be very clear. Everybody in this room is against hate speech, against violence and other things that verbally start out. I mean, no one is for that. But this one is targeted against your minority. Remember, we're only 5 people. You guys are 45 people, and we want to, when you're down, we want to kick and stick our foot on your neck again. So procedurally, this is totally unfair. Also procedurally, suddenly at 7:30 in the morning, we get this thing on, finally we get it on the agenda. Why so late and why so secretive? But as my colleague said, it's very unbalanced and unfair. Everywhere where it says right-wing extremism, it should say left-wing extremism. Who shot Representative Calise when he was playing softball? It was a left-wing guy. I mean, let's be fair. I mean, this is a political resolution which doesn't belong in this body. And when the word bribery came up, we can't even say bribery. Now we're saying left wing, now we're saying right wing. You cannot say it, Mr. Speaker. I think we're being hypocritical. The point is, there's extremes on the left, there's extremes on the right, and this kind of buys into the national narrative where everybody, including our president, every chance he gets, He says, beware of the right-wing extremism, and these on the right side of the Democratic Party are just pushing a narrative which is at the national level, which we do not belong in at all, according to this resolution. The other irony is that the whereases don't even match the be it resolved. All the whereases are what's going on in the mainland. Give me the empirical ratings of what's going on here locally in terms of hate speech. As I said earlier, we can't even say bribe and we get called out of order. In fact, if this reso was a speech, you, Speaker, or the other speaker would call us out of order because it's so partisan and it's so accusatory, it doesn't fit with our rules. But yet here it's a reso on the floor and we're acting as if it's a formal, acceptable thing. Again, a national issue which we're taking up here locally for the sake of what's an election year in 2024. Yeah, one of the funny things is that we're going to make a plan for our departments to how to become word police and safe havens for speech, but we can't even make a plan for the wildfires on Maui and make sure that that doesn't happen again. But we're going to make sure the word police in the state of Hawaii are relevant. Mr. Speaker, there's so many reasons it doesn't belong here. A resolution is for something that's good and helpful. This is hateful, and it impugns the minority. None of us are in this hate speech mode. None of us are doing this stuff, but it's a national issue which you're trying to foist off on us as if we are the guilty party. And remember, there's only a few of us. You guys got 45. Why, when we're down, you want to step on our neck? That's the great irony. This, in the end, may end up biting you just the same way that Hillary Clinton called all of those who vote Republican as deplorables. You're calling all the Republicans in Hawaii, you guys are the white extremists, and you're the ones who are doing all of this hate speech. Mr. Speaker, this is a bad resolution. It shouldn't. Speaker, I'm surprised you even put it on the agenda. These are the things that, if again, as we said, if we speak on them, we get termed out of order. This thing formalizes something that is really hate speech, and that's the great irony. This reso does exactly what it says that shouldn't be done in the state of Hawaii. And we're doing it right now on the floor of the House. So I'd love to hear some justification why the minority and the Republicans are so bad for the people of Hawaii. Thank you, Speaker.
Representative Nakamura.
Speaker, I request a recess.
Recess at this time. Will the House come to order? Members, any other further discussions? Representative Alcos.
Mr. Speaker, based on what my colleague said, no vote.
So ordered. Representative Matsumoto.
Same request.
So ordered. Representative Perrick.
No vote.
So ordered. Representative Garcia.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Second time still in opposition. I forgot to include in my first time speaking something that I would consider hate speech by some of the left-wing members here in this building. On March 17, Senator Carl Rhodes tweeted, quote, "Trump says presidents have total immunity. So if Biden has Trump assassinated, that's okay?" Talk about pure hypocrisy. No vote.
Representative Cochran.
Thank you, Speaker.
I'm reading the Be It Resolved, and it's state departments, agencies are urged to address disinformation and digital hate speech, developing public safety plans to protect public institutions and employees.
Representative Cochran, in support or opposition?
I'm in opposition. I mean, I'm in support of that Be It Resolved because I asked for that. I was threatened online. I have threats to me. And this House, Sergeant-at-Arms, Attorney General's office did not follow through. I still sit here feeling unprotected, very unsafe in my own home back on Maui since the wildfires and things that occurred to me during the wildfires. I brought it to the attention to this House, to Speaker and others. So I agree with the Be It Resolved, but this is my own community who did this to me. These weren't right-wing people. These were just, I don't know what happened. But today I still sit here very threatened and I am shaking inside. Still very upset with what had occurred, and I had gotten no help till today. So I do agree that we shouldn't be naming people other side of us because it happened to in my own hometown, from my community members.
Representative Ward.
Speaker, also in opposition, but I want to add a footnote to my no, and that is I would gladly become a yes if it said in balance, left-wing extremists and right-wing extremists. Let's be balanced. I mean, Americans are far left and they're far right. We know that. But this reso picks out one and gives selective examples to where these are the bad guys. Because, 2024 is going to be a hard-fought election. This kind of gets in and it poisons the well here in Hawaii by this body speaking out for saying right-wing extremists are marching on the election already. This is like right out of the DNC narrative. If you can pass this around every state legislature, hey, great. Get that imagery out there so people won't vote Republican or conservative. For those reasons, Mr. Speaker, if it said left-wing extremists and right-wing extremists, I'd say I'd vote for the thing and I would speak for it. It's a shame what we just heard about the representative of Maui. That should never be the case. Hate has no place to do in democracy and in politics. Unfortunately, fear-mongering, like this reso, is part of what people do, and it's unfair. Thank you.
Representative Kilo.
Mr. Speaker, reservations, and I just want to add that there are 6 minority members in the House, not 5.
All right, Representative Peruso.
In support.
Proceed.
I strongly support this measure because I think it is accurate to say that many members have experienced the negative effects of disinformation and digital hate speech. And I think that it is within our power to work with our state departments and agencies to make sure that all of our workplaces are safe and that there are plans in place and measures in place to provide for safety. Mr. Speaker, I think that we have not done enough in our current context to really understand and address the effects of activity on social media, and that we need to start taking that space seriously and to talk about how it affects our collective safety, working in our capacity, but also trying to protect other public workers. So for those reasons, I support this measure.
Representative Souza.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in strong support, and thank you to the representative from Nanakuli for acknowledging that there's 6 of us. Perhaps that's one of the bases of the problem, and perhaps why this bill was introduced, because there is no acknowledgement, I think a lot of times, that there are 6 of us, and I am a Republican. So who knows if that was what the representative from Hawaii Kai misspoke. I do agree with the representative from Wahiawa, and I would like her words to be inserted into the journal as my own, and also have my own comments. I think that disinformation, hate speech, it's obviously very rampant. We see it all over social media. Members of this body allegedly are the ones pushing a lot of times for disinformation and hate speech. We see different things happening, different posts, different videos being shown. We have cameras on us right now, which is basically from one party on this floor that is utilized to harass members. That's my experience. And so when we look at a bill like this, it's because people are frustrated and we need a solution. And so I understand that there's fringe parts of both parties. There's fringe right, there's fringe left. So I do agree with the representative from Hawaii Kai in that aspect. But I also think that we need to be accountable as members. And I think that this resolution doesn't go far enough. We need to police ourselves. We need to show aloha out there, and then our community members will follow. And so I think that this resolution is a good start. I think that it could potentially address off-fringe aspects of different political parties, but I do stand in strong support, and I think that the representatives on this floor need to take accountability for their actions as to why this particular measure has come to fruition. And so I, as a representative from Kapolei Makakilo, I would encourage my neighboring representative to take some accountability for his actions as well. Thank you.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
State your point of order.
A point of personal privilege, excuse me. I would like to request that the comment that was made, which was not germane to the bill at hand, about the neighboring representative taking responsibility for his actions, number one, that imputes motive. Number two, saying that the rep from Hawaii Kai was alluding to the fact that she is somehow not a Republican is not in any way what he said, and that was taken out of context. So those things should be stricken from her speech because they do not pertain to the resolution at hand.
At this time, I won't be striking any speeches. I'm allowing them to.
Mr. Speaker, recess.
I'll call recess. Will the House come to order? All right, members, any further discussions? Representative Souza.
Point of order and a point of personal privilege, Mr. Speaker. May I proceed?
Proceed.
Okay, thank you. I just want to say that my comments were germane to this bill, and that's why I'm in support of this legislation. And I did mention that perhaps the representative from Hawaii Kai was not alluding to the fact that I was not a Republican. But I think just even saying that there's 5 of us, I think that's problematic. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Quinlan.
With reservations, Mr. Speaker.
Proceed.
While I fully support the intent of this measure, words do matter, and I think that's the problem that we're trying to grapple with right now. There are some words in the resolution that make me a little uncomfortable on behalf of the community that I represent, but there have been some words said by people in this room that have also made me very uncomfortable. And as representatives of the public and as guardians of the public trust, it is so important that we measure our words. It is so important that we say exactly what we mean to say and leave no room for ambiguity, because we are leaders. And when we go in a direction, Mr. Speaker, people will follow us. Mahalo.
All right, members, we'll be taking a voice vote. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. Motion is carried. Item 7, announcements. Representative Kobayashi.
Mr. Speaker, at the appropriate time. May we have a moment of silence for Ted Sakai, former director of Department of Corrections on 2 occasions in the 1990s and the 2010s. Thank you.
Thank you. We will take a moment of silence after our adjournment. Members, any other further announcements? Representative Martin.
Somebody left this on my desk, maybe when they were visiting the education.
All right, with no further announcement, Representative Matsumoto, not Matayoshi.
Thank you. Just a reminder that the Easter Baskets is coming up next week, so make sure that you gather all of your things. We have 5 organizations that we are supporting this year, and so we need those baskets to come on in. So just a reminder that that's coming up on the 27th. Thank you.
No further announcements. Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I move that this House stand adjourned until 12 o'clock noon tomorrow.
Representative Garcia.
Speaker, I second the motion.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The motion is carried. The House stands adjourned until 12 noon tomorrow.